My name is Erinrose Hagan. I am a mum of two, under two. I am owner of Alf Roe Vintage, co-owner of 505 Men's Vintage, and a freelance fashion stylist. I am passionate about vintage clothing and the creative side of that, so music, film, innovative styling. I'm also passionate about sustainability and circular fashion. Then I'm passionate about things like family and friends and having fun and being happy. I'm motivated by doing a job that I love and being happy in my job and spending each day enjoying what I'm doing, because I have been in multiple jobs where I wasn't happy and spending time in like dead end jobs and stuff. So now I'm just focused on being happy and working for myself and striving to be a good businesswoman. Challenges that I have faced in business obviously are the pandemic. It really knocked my business to the floor with, people weren't spending money on clothes. They were just they weren't going anywhere, so my business wasn't needed basically. So that was a big hit for us. And then having two kids in the pandemic as well, my mind was in a different place. So with the pandemic and having two babies, it was the business just went to the wayside. Doing that from home in my conservatory, selling, and I thought it was hard at the start, but once you get into it and get a bit of feedback from your customers, then you just have to work with it. And if you want to keep your business going, you'll find ways to make it work. I am inspired by the strong women in my life, in particular my mum, and then my granny and my friends, my sister, just all the women in my life who encourage me to keep going and support my business. And my mum's love of vintage fashion just radiated to me and my siblings as well, but I had a real keen interest in going over to uni in Leeds and seeing how the vintage worked over there. Just always stayed with me, and I just always dreamed of one day working with vintage clothes and hopefully have my own vintage shop. So it was the women in my life that encouraged me to take that step and take that leap of faith, and without them I wouldn't have been able to do it. I would say just to make sure that you're passionate about what you're going to start. If you're going to start a bricks and mortar business like this, you have to be really, really passionate about it, because it's not just a case of opening the doors and you have a business. There's so much that goes on before this. I would say setting up a very strong brand identity before you even open is very important. Just your logos, your branding, everything, online, making sure you have it all perfect. I would also say things that would have held me back at the start would have been money, because I didn't have the money to start a business. But upon seeing a space, then I went into Donaghmore Enterprise Centre, and they pointed me in the direction of funding for small startups, and I think there's programs and loan opportunities through Invest NI and things like that. So there is options out there if you don't have a massive cash flow at the start, to give you that head start or that kick start and to help you get started. Whenever I came back from Australia from travelling for 2 years, I worked in a job in marketing that just there was no way up. It was kind of a job that I was just going to stay at the same level. So it wasn't for me. After having such bad working experience in Australia, I just wanted to do something for me and something different, and I just thought, if I don't try this, then I'll never know. So I wanted to nearly get it out of my head, and if I failed I didn't mind, because it was just in my brain all the time, you should do this, you should do this. Another piece of advice would be to get yourself up to date with current social media trends, because whenever I started the business 5 years ago, it's completely different now, you know, like you need to be on top of it. Like only I've had people working for me that have kind of been more in the know than me. Like you can fall behind. So now it's like TikTok and like video and reels and things like that instead of like static images, you know. So I think, you know, even doing an online course or going to a course, even just a weekend or a couple of days, like that would be so worthwhile in bringing your business to the next level. How I look after my own personal development would be spending time with my family and putting that first, and then work comes after that, you know, and then spending time with my friends and enjoying myself, you know, looking after myself, going to Pilates every week and taking the dogs out for walks and things like that when I get the chance. But yeah, just spending time with the people you love and having fun and making nice food and just being together and being happy. Yeah, that's how I spend my free time. So I didn't have a mentor, but I do think that I could have benefited from somebody like that, because like I would have loved the opportunity to work somewhere like this whenever I was younger in uni or whatever. So the girls that come in and work for me, I try to encourage them and mentor them to be in the best versions of themselves and being confident and showing them that they're really good at the things that they're good at, and just always telling them to strive for the best. Like Claire that worked here with me at the start, she was so shy, like barely would speak to anybody, and through spending time here in this environment, this creative environment, she was able to go on. So she's been in Australia now a few years and is just like absolutely thriving. Then Anya, who has worked for me, she worked for me part-time and worked in another big company part-time, but she needed to work full-time then in her other job, so left here, but came back to me and asked me to help her get a job in fashion, and she now works for like a major like circular fashion brand that's just started in Belfast. So I pushed her into that and pushed her out of her comfort zone, and now she's in a job that she really loves, and it's just from working here, you know. What I look for in people that I want to work with and people that work in here is obviously like a keen interest in vintage fashion and being interested in sustainability and circular fashion and things like that. Also somebody who knows how to use their initiative, friendly, and is always looking out for the best for the business, and someone that has a creative flair and can bring a fresh outlook to the business. You know, anyone that's worked for me, they've all been so different and they've all brought a fresh kind of idea to the business, and you know, I love listening to how they would do things, you know, and sharing ideas and things like that. Somebody who's open to making the business grow that extra step.